So, hey Aries, my name is Chris, and this is your beautiful reading for whenever you freaking find it in this seismic shift year of 2026. So, pretty much every reading is a yearly reading, but I'm doing 10 cards for you, not the Celtic cross. That looks pretty good. 9 of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles. Let's just see what else comes up. That's also a beautiful combination. The Four of Swords and the Victory March with the Six of Wands. So there is a lot of Pentacles energy, wealth, abundance, and prosperity, right? You're getting something back. You just have to make sure that you keep your consciousness in a state of inner peace and calm, right? So no haste, low-hanging fruits, no big deal. Subconscious energy, there's the Lovers. Looks pretty freaking good, right? What else we got? There is the Devil. There's the Devil and the Strength card, which is an interesting combination. So somebody might trick you, somebody might try to entangle you in some sort of stress or mindfuck frequency. There's the Five of Cups and the Page of Cups. Bottom of the deck, the Ace of Wands, right? So let's just get this devil energy out of the way because everything else looks fantastic. There is the Five of Cups here, and there is the Devil and the Strength card, and that's basically, in combination with the Page of Cups, the story how you not even get into mindfuck energies, right? So whatever it is, whatever triggers you, you have to, that's what I always preach, basically shadow work, right? Identify what triggers you. Become self-aware, become mindful. And that's the practice here. Becoming mindful, working with your subconsciousness. That is pretty much where the devil tries to get you. The devil is always trying to destroy your inner peace, create some sense of urgency, right? Try to bring you in a reactive mindset. And, if you know thyself, right? If you love thyself, if you're not believing your own lies, if you're not shoving aspects of yourself, guilt, fear, shame related under the rug, nobody can play you. Nobody can trick you. If you do your homework, you have nothing to hide. You have nothing to prove. You have nothing to, there's no access point for this energy. But this energy seems to be around, but it's no big deal. The real question is, how do you deal with that if you encounter frequencies like that? And the tricky thing about this energy is it always tries to get your permission to mindfuck you, right? Or to play you, or to manipulate you, or to do something destructive in your life, right? So this energy is always trying to play you in the sense that you give permission to something that you actually don't want, that is not good for you. So simple example, if you, guilt, fear, shame related stuff, right? If you feel ashamed about something that you did, then you are easily blackmailed or seduced into covering this up and, doing stuff that you would normally not do if that was not an issue, if you follow me, right? So the most important thing to insulate you from this energy is knowing thyself, right? What do you do on a freaking daily basis? Meditation and breath work. So you do 1 in, 2 out, 5 seconds in, 10 seconds out, 10 seconds in, 20 seconds out, whatever you can do halfway comfortably. You start with 5 minutes if you've never done it. Combine that with meditation. There's your daily freaking practice of mindfulness and resting within yourself, right? You're taking care of your subconsciousness and you're not allowing anybody, if you're not taking care of your subconsciousness, if you shove things that went wrong, guilt, fear, shame related stuff, right? If you shove that down into your subconsciousness, moonish energy, into the dark, into the night, right? If you shove it down there, if you try to disown an aspect of yourself, somebody's sniffing that out. Then toxic, narcissistic, antagonistic people are very talented to literally sniff that out, right? They have a receptor for that frequency of guilt, fear, shame. If something within you seems to be off, they try to poke you a little, right? And try to see how you react to this and that, right? And if you indeed are in guilt, fear, shame, if there's something in your subconsciousness that you don't dealing with, that you're disowning basically, they will come along and try to manipulate you through it. It is kind of connected to the 5 of Cups. So maybe you lost something, maybe you're coming from narcissistic abuse, maybe it was a relationship, friendship, whatever. There is some sort of loss in the past or some sort of trauma. And the best way to heal that is to deal with it in the sense that you do meditation and breath work and not try to hide it from yourself, not try to disown it, but to own it, right? To sit with it and heal it, not by trying to negate it, not by trying to make it invisible, or I'm not looking at that, so it probably is going away. It's not going away. It's getting bigger, and this energy is going to add all sorts of stuff that has nothing to do with you, trying to mix it in with all of your shady stuff, right? And then shows it back into your face to manipulate you, to blackmail you, to, whatever, right? But if you sit with that, if you can make peace with that, and it is a daily healing practice, meditation, breathwork, what I always recommend, take care of your subconsciousness. If you don't take care of your subconsciousness, someone else will. So do not try to fight negative, antagonistic, toxic people. That's what they actually want. They want you to engage. They want you to defend yourself, to engage, to explain yourself, to personalize what they're doing. But if you know yourself, you don't need to be afraid of other people making remarks and hints and poking here and poking there. If you own yourself, if you know yourself, if you're dealing with yourself, especially the shadow aspects of yourself, right? Shame, guilt, fear related stuff. If you're dealing that, if you're owning that, you're owning yourself, and there's no need to fight the narcissist in the outside world, the toxic, antagonistic person in the outside world. You're too busy taking care of your own stuff. So that's the Strengths card here, and that's the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups is taking that cup of self-love, taking that cup of joyful, daily, loving creation, right? Doing what you love to do on a daily basis, taking care of yourself. And Page of Cups energy is, you have to, it's really connected to your heart space. So give that loving energy instead of taking the bait of the narcissist. The narcissist wants your drama, wants your energy, wants your engagement, wants to dance with you in that drama, right? But you're not doing that. You're not fighting the lion, Strengths card, right? You're taming the lion, and the lion is not so much, you're not taming the narcissist. Do not try to appease the narcissist completely. Futile, right? But you're taming yourself, right? And you're taming yourself by taking care of whatever that is, whatever the 5 of Cups stands for in your personal story. Think back the last 9-10 years, 9-year cycle, Don't be played on anything, right? Deal with yourself. And there's joyful, loving creation. There is the 9 of Pentacles. If you do what you love, right? You might have lost something, but what is left is enough. And there's one toxic cup here. There's one cup with blue liquid. So something that you lost was pretty much interwoven with narcissistic, toxic, antagonistic energy, whether it was self-destructive, whether it was just a trap for you, right? But what you lost is enough. And one of these cups holds something very beautiful that you love to do. Keep that. There's the Page of Cups here. Focus on that, right? And low-hanging fruit, so you get something out of it. There's the Queen of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles, low-hanging fruit, so you don't have to work so hard. You get something. Things are getting less, there's less resistance, right? Everything is kind of falling into place. You just have to keep doing what you love and showing up for it, right? You have to put in some work, but as you put in the work, you get something out of it. And then the universe, everything you do seems to multiply, right? There's the wonderful Queen of Pentacles, and there is the Victory March with the Six of Cups. And there's a big antagonistic opposite couple here. The Devil and the Lovers. The Devil and the Lovers are opposite cards. So this is being chained to something or some person in a very toxic and dysfunctional way through shadow aspects, you know? If you don't own your own shit, so to speak, somebody will come along and play you, manipulate you, entangle you, chain you, through manipulation, through your inability to love yourself, to deal with your own shadow aspects. That's why the chains are here. And you can turn this around easily by just not engaging with this energy and taking care of your shadow stuff. Because if you do that, taking care of your subconsciousness, daily breathwork, meditation, you're naturally attracting people. You know, if the narcissist doesn't find, if you're not reacting to the narcissist, that's very important. Be non-reactive. And carefully think about whether you even want to respond to it, right? Reaction would be, you know, you're lashing out, you're getting afraid, or, you know, you're reacting instantly to something. If you give a response is always, you thought about it, you looked at it, there's some mindfulness involved, there's a gap between the trigger, and you're not just reacting to it, but you might respond to it. But the question is, do you even want to respond to that? And the short answer is no, you don't. Toxic, narcissistic, antagonistic people do not defend, do not engage, do not explain, do not personalize, do not even, they want you to, you know, wrestle with them. Don't. Whatever they trigger within you, oh, you did this and that, and you say, oh, no, and Five of Cups, whatever it is for you that they kind of poke to or try to trigger you with, daily breathwork and meditation, you're dealing with that, and you're focusing on your cup, right? Whatever you love to do, you're creating something very successfully. Just keep going. If you just keep going, if you just focus on the prize, if you just focus on what you want to create, and you just disengage from that, you know. And there's the Ten of Pentacles underneath the Ace of Wands, right? So you're very passionate about it. And since the Ace of Wands is here, it might be an indicator how this energy is trying to trigger you, either through sexuality or through strong emotions like anger, for example. But another indicator that is related to the Ace of Swords is willpower. So you just focus willfully onto what you want to create and on your own stuff. You just take care of your own stuff and let these people, creatures, whatever, narcissistic, toxic people, let them. You got stuff to do, right? You got meditation and breathwork to do. You got, you know, and then you're attracting naturally Good stuff. Very successful. You know, your Page of Cups is turning into the Nine of Pentacles, into the Queen of Pentacles, but there's always support from the universe when the Queen of Pentacles shows up. Fertile ground, everything is fruitful, right? Everything is bringing you a good, easy harvest. There's the Victory March, literally the Six of Wands, coming from the Ace of Wands. Underneath that, there's the Ten of Pentacles. Everything looks just fantastic. There's even the Lovers, but this is a choice, right? So what are you focusing on? Do you focus on the naysayers? Do you focus on your self-doubts? Or do you just, you know, love yourself, look into the mirror? I'm not perfect, but hey, what? You know, I just do my thing. I'm just in my integrity and in my authenticity, and nobody can play me. I love myself. I do what I love to do, what makes sense to me. And then you're attracting someone who does the same. Five of Wands, every, you know, every obstacle is easily overcome here. There's the Moon card a second time. Yeah, Three of Wands, very good outlook. Oh, there's the Empress, beautiful. It's that's really that's pretty much self-mastery. All four queens rolled into one. There's an emphasis on Pentacles energies with the Queen of Wands. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let's just do one more. Yeah, Fool card. Maybe it's time for a new love. But again, right, keep it slow. Don't be too enthusiastic about it, even if you got all the rosy glasses in the world. Even if sex is really, really good, be smart about it, right? There are antagonistic, toxic, narcissistic people in this world. So take it one step at a time. Don't go in too fast, and you know, there's nothing to fear here. Anxiety is the dizziness of freedom. Søren Kierkegaard, anxiety is the dizziness of freedom. And if you look outside, you're dreaming. If you look inside, you're awakening. So you don't need external recognition. You don't need external validation. You don't need to ask anybody for permission. You're just doing your thing, right? And don't fear the narcissist, the antagonistic people, whatever. You're just doing your thing, right? Einstein, the definition of insanity is to repeat the same behaviors and expect a different outcome. So learn from the past with your Five of Cups. What was the reason for the Five of Cups? Why did something break? Why did something turn out toxic? How have you been played in the past? Don't make that mistake again. Seems like external recognition, right? So you look inside, not outside. You know what you want, you know what feels good to you, you know what makes sense to you. Do that. It's your life, it's your degree, it's your school that you're doing. You don't need to prove anything to anybody, right? The three truths inscribed above the Apollon temple. Know thyself. True breathwork and meditation. 2 times the Moon card. Know thyself, including and especially when it comes to your shadow aspects. Know thyself, because if you know yourself, if you know your weaknesses, if you know your triggers, if you know your shadow shit, right? Nobody can play you. But if you disown it, you know, if you're ignoring it, it's not going away. It's an aspect of yourself. Somebody will come along in the outside world trying to play you with it. So own your own shit, your own shadow stuff, right? Know thyself, that's the first thing. Moderation in all, especially if you got the Fool card and the Lovers here. Could be a new love, right? Could be a new relationship. Could be, it's the Lovers, it's not a friendship. There's love at the horizon, right? Beautiful. Happy for you. But some princes are frogs and they stay frogs, right? So know that, keep it slow, one step at a time. It's not a good time for one-night stands in this time and age that we're living in, right? So moderation in all, know yourself, know thyself, moderation in all, and surety brings ruin in the sense that be open to learn new stuff, right? You could be wrong, sure, but it's the most important truth here when we're talking about surety or being too sure of yourself. It's not about outer form, especially if you're looking for love, if there's love at the horizon. You're doing what you love, you're already doing it. There's a super successful story here with the Pentacles, right? That it seems to be not even in question because there's the victim card. You're just going there and you're on your way, and that seems to be a very sure thing if you just keep doing that. Super successful, Pentacles wise, and you're doing something that you love. So Cups and Pentacles energies, check, right? And then there's the Lovers. But there's also the Devil, right? So it's not so much about outer form. So don't fall easily in love just because he, she looks fantastic. Don't fall in love just because sex is good. Don't fall in love just because, you know, there's always that honeymoon phase and everything is rosy glasses and stuff. Archangel Michael, you protected, right? You are protected. I think there's really nothing, as long as you just keep meditating and doing breath work and loving yourself and just not engaging in toxicity, you know? When somebody makes a remark, when somebody tries to provoke you or give you a little, you know, it's not even, don't even go there. Don't defend, don't engage, don't explain, don't personalize. There is divine protection, Archangel Michael, beautiful energy. I think you got that. So there's a lot of good stuff coming and I'm really happy for you. So share, like, subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what you think about it. There is the fall and winter reading for 2026. I'm going to link somewhere around here. Check out your sun, moon, and rising if you want the full picture, and hopefully see you next time. Now, goodbye, my friend. Ciao.